I normally don't have to walk up steps to teach. It's a little intimidating. I'll first apologize. My allergies are kind of bad, so I will be hydrating a lot. I would like to thank Bonnie and all of you for the invite back. It was a pleasure in May to come over and do a teaching on motherhood for Mother's Day. And I would like to thank Skip for his technical services in miking me up. So good morning. And this is Solstice Eve. I'm not going to give you a education on what solstice is or what Yule is. We're going to talk about some of those concepts that are part of our daily lives and what it is that we do. I say we, but what the more indigenous cultures and faith bases do that are part of this time of year, not just today. So we think about all of the things that we do to get ready for this crazy gifting, commercialized season. All the things that we do, why? Why do we do them? Where does that tradition come from? Who knows where gifting comes from? Why do we do that? Anybody? It's actually part of a tradition that came from Babylonia, Mesopotamia, where they would gift during the festival of Zagmuk, and they gave gifts to each other during their festival of light. Then the Romans came around, and the Romans celebrated at this time of the year something called Saturnalia. And Saturnalia was, again, a festival of light. During Saturnalia, slaves and masters exchanged roles for the day. And so that was the gift, was that the slave got the luxuries that the master did, and the master was able to be reminded that as a master, they also needed to have compassion. And so gifting was actually a part, or came from compassion. It was from within. It wasn't this crazy retail therapy that we go through in modern day times. So then we have Yule, which came from all of the European countries and all of the tribes there. We have Hanukkah, we have Christmas. All of them are festivals of light. We have Christmas lights, we have a Christmas tree, we have candles that we light, we have the Advent wreath. All of this to welcome back the light, the sun. We weren't sure centuries ago that the sun would actually return. The days got shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. And we thought that the dark times would stay. And so all of the prayer work, all of the things that we did were about trying to welcome back the warmth, the sun, the light. As Christianity came along, S-U-N became S-O-N. And so the teachings changed a little bit. Some of the light bearers throughout the years in Babylonia and Mesopotamia, we have Marduk, which is part of the festival of Zagmuk, where they started gifting. We have in Egypt Ra, who was a light bearer or a sun god. And of course, then we have Christ. But we cannot have light or appreciate light without darkness. So let's talk a little bit about darkness, because we are at the dark time of the year where there's actually more night than there is day. And we're getting ready to have that shift and go back into more light. But darkness is essential for us because we cannot appreciate the warmth, we cannot appreciate the light, we cannot appreciate the levity without having the dark times. And so even though we go through this process and grief and lack of compassion and lack of support, when we come out of that, it makes us more thankful for our community that we have. And that's where the real gift and the real light comes in. Tonight is what they call Mutternacht, the Mother Night in Germany. Frau Holde is a figure in Germanic culture, much like the very modern popularized version of Krampus. You guys heard of Krampus? No, I see a lot of head shaking. Okay, let me back up then. So Frau Holde is a goddess or a female figure that comes on this night with a little bit of judgment. Much like Santa Claus comes, only if you're good, okay? Krampus was actually the male figure that was very naughty, and he came for all of his naughty legions and took them away. Krampus wasn't a light tale where Santa Claus just gives you a slap on the hand. Krampus actually took you away forever and tortured you forever. But Mutternacht, Mother Night, is tonight, and it is about introspection, and it is about taking inventory and stock of what it is that we have. So, Frau Holde is about prophetic dreams. And so tonight I invite you to do a little exercise. Get a glass of water before you go to bed. Make it a small glass of water because you don't want to have to get up numerous times. But get a small glass of water. And as you sit on your bed and get ready to go to sleep, I want you to envision what it is that you need to know prophetically for the next year, for this cycle. And I want you to drink half of that glass, only half. So a shot glass will work, but make it water. We can go for the other celebratory stuff later. And then leave it sit. And in the morning, I want you to drink the other half of the glass. Have a journal ready and pay attention to your dreams and write them down. They will be significant tonight. It's considered to be a very, very significant night in the dream world. And so the messages that you receive, even if you think they're crazy, oh, you were holding hands with Paris Hilton on Rodeo Drive and you went and you bought a blue dog for the homeless lady down the street and gifted it to her. Well, what does that mean? I don't know what that means, but write it down. You'll find symbolism in that throughout the year. And so that's the first step in celebrating the Great Mother Night. There's also the concept of giving to the righteous. So Frau Holde would come, and she would come riding her nightmare. So that's actually where we get the term nightmare from, Nachtmar. And she would gift only to the good. Kind of sounds like another tale that we have modern culture. And so in your prophetic dreams, look and see if there's a figure that you might be able to pick out that is somebody within your constellation, within your circle of people, that is a righteous relationship with you, and find something meaningful to gift them. It doesn't have to be material. Gifts can be gifts of time. I work 2, maybe 3 jobs, and so the gift of time, of sitting down and having a lunch with them, sharing coffee, or even a phone call, those are very significant. So let's get out of the commercialization side of things. Find out what that gift can be. So that's what the next step is. So, Frau Holde would scold the naughty. She didn't torture them. That was up for Krampus to do. She was the keeper of dark knowledge. What does that mean? It sounds very, very dark and very sinister. We cannot unknow. It's one of my favorite sayings when I teach. You don't want to ask too much, because if you know too much before it's time, before you're ready, what happens? We wall ourselves off. We don't want to know about that. We don't want to have to deal with that. And we don't receive the information in the divine process which it's meant to be put into our being. So the next step is, after you write your dream down, after you figure out who you're going to gift, is to ask during solstice day tomorrow to be a receiver of the dark knowledge of what it is that we have in our lives that no longer serves us. And this is a time to get rid of it. As the sun progresses and comes back, it is seed planting time. And in February is when we do a lot of symbolism of planting seeds and preparing the soil. So right now is the time to cull those seeds that are dark, that don't serve us. So I want to take just a moment, and I know we've done several meditations today, but I want you to take a moment and everybody just close their eyes. Tomorrow is the shortest day of the year. I want you to go within and look for that cauldron within your being. Breathe deeply and open your spirit eye to see that cauldron. Open those spirit ears to be able to hear on the stillest of nights. For the messages on the wind, the creaking of the branches of the trees outside, the sighing of the house and the dwelling that you're in, all carry messages. Gaze into that cauldron, and you will find at least one dark seed that you can remove. Remember that dark seed, for tomorrow you will take a moment to discard it. Take a walk outside, get rid of it. So I want you to take another deep breath. Exhale as you will discard that seed. And you can open your eyes. So tomorrow you'll take that seed that you already know, that you recognize. You'll take that seed, bury it in the dirt, and let Earth Mother transmute it into something that will grow and provide. Things cannot be destroyed, they can only be changed. It's energy, we're all energy. And so by the law of physics, we have to transmute things. So tomorrow's the time to get rid of that which doesn't serve. Tonight is the time to be introspective about that and to identify. Take a little bit of time this evening when you go home and look back at that seed and figure out what it is. You can journal it down. It's normally what I do. Take that piece of paper and I fold it up. If you know how to do origami, it's a great way to get rid of something. Put it into a nice little origami package, and then I plant it in my garden. Done. That's what Middernacht is all about. So this is the stillest of nights. And it's time to go within. Listen. Find the introspection. And recognize the shadow, because without it we cannot bring the light back to us. We can't be light bearers without recognizing what it is inside us that's dark. And besides that, who's going to listen to a light bearer that's never recognized their shadow? Because I certainly would not. How many of you want to go to a church that's had a minister that's had a fluff bunny life? No. Want somebody that's been through the trials and tribulations. Those are the people that give us the best advice. Those are the people that have lived it. And so that's how you communicate in the dark times, is really embracing those trials, because that becomes our light. So I wasn't going to talk to you about Yule logs and druids and sacrificing and kissing under the mistletoe. I wanted to give you something that you could take home and that you could think about to help change who you were. And I hope that the little bit about Middernacht has helped. It's been my pleasure to be a part of this, and I hope that your darkness serves you well. Thank you.